Do you need a visa to go to Kenya? Do you need a visa as a U.S. citizen to travel to Kenya? Well, that might not be the correct word, but you do need the electronic travel authorization to go to Kenya starting in 2024, better known as the ETA. And I'll preface this by saying in December of 2023, the Kenyan president announced that they will no longer require visas for travelers to come into Kenya. But this was met with resistance, and it wasn't put into effect immediately in 2024. In fact, I applied the first week of 2024 for the visa, and because the ETA had not gone into effect yet. So I had to pay $51 for the visa, but now going forward, travelers must apply for an ETA, electronic travel authorization. And I always tell travelers to make sure that you look at the country requirements before you book your trips and everything so that you know what's required to enter that country. If you go to travel.state.gov, and especially if you're a U.S. citizen, you want to click on Learn About Your Destination and then go to Kenya. Once here, you can see travel advisories. And also you can see an important thing is that your passport must be valid within 6 months after your travel dates. And that's why I state it's important to look at this before you book your trip, because if your passport is not going to be valid 6 months beyond your travel dates, you don't even need to be booking that trip. You need to be worrying about getting your passport renewed, which I have a different video on how to renew your passport. And it shows that you must have the certain vaccinations and that you must have two blank pages in your passport. And it has tourist visa here required, but if you go a little bit further, you'll click on the entry requirements and you'll see that this part has been updated to a Kenyan electronic travel authorization. And here's where you'll go to this website. I'll put a link to this website in the description of this video, and you can click around and see some of the things as far as how to apply, and you'll need things like a passport type photo and stuff like that. And then you'll need like your hotel information, basically similar to what you would fill out if you were applying for a visa. But again, the term is now electronic travel authorization, and this is for Kenya. It's recommended that you apply as soon as possible, but you can apply up to 3 months before your trip. And it says, at most give yourself 2 weeks, but usually the turnaround is supposedly 3 days. Now, I went through this process, but for the visa, and it came back in a day for me. But I was on the cusp of when these changes came about. I know that this is a change because now that I'm using the same link that I used earlier this year in 2024, it redirects to this new website. Although there are no longer requirements for visa and you don't have to pay the $51, the electronic travel authorization is $32.50. So there's still a cost involved. The reception has been mixed. For one thing, I was confused when I went through this process because I'm like, do I have to apply for a visa? Do I not? And because this site wasn't up and ready, like I said, I was on the cusp of it. I had to go through and apply for the $51 visa. So now it's $32.50 per traveler. And to apply, you go here and hit apply now. And it just gives you some, it reinforces the requirements, and it says processing time is 3 working days, but it can take longer. Like I said, they advise at least give yourself 2 weeks. And you read through here, and I like that this gives you an option for individual application or group application. When myself and my husband applied, we applied on separate computers at the same time. So you get to apply for group applications if you meet any of these requirements. I'm going to show you what this process is like to do the electronic travel authorization. So you'll fill out this information similar to what you would when you apply for a visa, but again, this is the electronic travel authorization, and fill it out to specific to your trip. Make sure you have your airline information ready and your hotel information ready. And what I've noticed immediately is once I put in the airline that I'm kind of doing a simulation of what we did in our flight earlier this year and literally a few weeks ago, and it auto-populated the 2 different flight numbers for Air France. And in my case, I actually flew out of Kenya and I continued on to Tanzania. I have to say, I really like that it's auto-populating, because when I did this on the visa process, I had to look up the hotel's address. It populates the address for you, and it has it easy so you can put in the dates. So you can use the webcam or you can upload the first page of your passport. For security purposes, I won't show, but once I uploaded my passport photo, the first page of my passport, it extrapolated my name and my passport number, when it expires, all that good stuff. And then you click take a selfie and upload a photo. And here's where I would add a second individual like my husband, so to make it easy to apply for it. Then you enter your phone number, email address, emergency contacts. And again, you want to fill out this information relative to your situation. So make sure you pay attention to the questions being asked. I had the hotel reservation saved as a PDF. I had the ticket for the airline saved, and I had that information already ready to go. I already had this printed out because, like I said, I did the same exact stuff for the regular visa. And what I did was I took my email and printed it out to a PDF. And you want to make sure that it uploads, so it takes a minute to upload, and then it has a check once it's uploaded. As you can see, all the items on the left have been checked green, and before you proceed, it allows you to read everything. And I'm not going to hit submit. I just wanted to show you the process for the Kenya ETA, the Kenya electronic travel authorization. The important thing is to have some of these things already saved. I had the hotel reservation saved as a PDF. I had the ticket for the airline saved, and I had that information already ready to go. So it doesn't take that long to actually apply for the Kenya electronic travel authorization, but this is the process going forward as of 2024. Technically, not really the Kenya visa, but the process for all travelers to be able to get into Kenya. Of course, you also need to check out, the vaccinations and everything else required, but this is the main piece as far as getting authorization to travel to Kenya. And also, I recommend you print these things out, because when you're at the airport going to that destination, they're going to ask to make sure that you have the paperwork for even getting past, dropping your bags. Be sure to subscribe to this channel for more travel tips, and check out my video about my time in Kenya and what I did as far as the safari and all of that good stuff. Thanks for watching.